Doing it live. Right. Well, what will I start off with? Yeah, fuck it. We'll start off with this one. I can't get enough of these songs. They're fucking hilarious. Oh man. Goo 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 goo. It kind of sounds Christmassy actually. Oh fuck. I have no idea what I'm gonna do with this guy. Just put more details in. I'm gonna leave the music there. I don't want to be shouting. My ears are already ringing from that shit. Like, just here's me waiting for fucking. It's only gone 4 o'clock now. Like, and 3 years are in already. Let's go. Gerd day. First, bah. Like, did he? Did Emmanuel just say Colin? Colon? Fuck. Fucking song's hilarious. Yeah, I've no idea what I'm like. I kept trying to imagine last night and like before the stream, like what kind of details I could like fit into this guy. Um, and I don't know. I get flashes of like a higher resolution version of him, but all I can think of doing is putting in like etching runes into his. Well, I suppose it's not a helmet, is it? It's like a fucking. That's his face. That is his head. Could you imagine the kind of like I always when you make up an alien species or something and then try to imagine what their everyday lives would be like? Could you imagine being this nigga and then like things involving like headspace? Like all of the doors would have to be like oh fuck. Anyway, what am I doing? Oh, I need a stretch. Okay. Have you no honor? Right. I'm just letting these ones play. I was just like letting people file in and I'll just play these ones because fucking our very own Stabaru-sama has provided us with a shit ton of new music. Let's get these bitches wet. Will I go with the small one? I don't know. Is that what I'm thinking now? We put tiny details in or something like. No, I'm feeling the other bitch. This one. These are like supposed to be watercolor ones. It's a nice brush. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna just go in and like try and render them a bit more, make them fucking HD, like more details and shit. Like, I'll start off with some white. I think that's the only thing that I would still kind of be complaining about with these paints. Like I was literally just saying to myself before I started the stream that these paints are fucking class. Like these things fucking you got them in Mr. Price like ages ago, and I remember using them and being like, oh, they're just like normal acrylics or so. I don't know why I thought that. Like obviously I didn't test them thoroughly enough, and I ended up just buying so many different kinds of paint And then the toner is just such high quality. I was like, oh, okay, I'll go with that stuff. But literally, the only complaints I have about this shit is like, it's not, the white isn't like really opaque. So when I'm putting it down, it's not like fucking white, you know. But other than that, like, it's like whatever. And if I tried to make something yellow right now, it'd probably be a pain in the ass. Like, um, right, I'm gonna let Emperor Wang play, and then I'll play the new music. I'm very excited. Alright, I need to get the stream up on the laptop so I can see the chat. Give me 2 seconds. Where did you go? Billy Brew. Looking cool, bro. Thanks, Billy. Much appreciated, Billy. Bring enough for the rest of the class, Emmanuel. I'm having carbonara. I love carbonara. I love carbonara. Emperor no see when. Yeah, he does look pretty cool. Let's see if we can make him look a little bit meaner and more detailed. I found you. Man, I fucking love this tune. So funny. Can't see you. And the world we built. Can't see you. Can't see you. I want this to be like really sharp and pointy. Whoa. Whoa. I wonder, should I go to another coat of white and then the light blue? Maybe, yeah. Right. We got the people in. Let's play the new tunes. I haven't heard these. This is like a cold fucking hearing. This is a cold listening. Let me see. I'm gonna have to put all these like in one place. I've got tunes all over the place now. Fucking music all over the shop. Right. Where's the new one? Third Metal Movement. I'm already loving the names. Hilarious. Right, this one's called Third Metal Movement. This is fucking class. It's fucking deadly, man. Sup, the banda? Cold listening was first invented by Inuit tribesmen as they stalked and waited for whales they were hunting. Our resident misinformation shaman. Desmondo talks out his ass. Oh, I love it. That's all it is. Like, it's like you just make shit up, and if you say it with enough confidence, people just believe you. It's so dangerous. More red in here. There's parts of them that look like transparent and shit, like, you know. You can only tell when you're like up close to it. I joined just in time to see Defender painting a crotch. Yeah. You showed up at the perfect time to see me touch up his groin area. Hilarious. If the news can get away with it, why can't I? Because you're supposed to be moral, you fuck. We're supposed to be the good guys. It is one of the funniest modalities of comedy, though, is to just like make shit up on the spot as if it's true. Yeah, I'm trying to think, like, could I put some, like... Well, obviously I could, but... maybe some, like, etch some runes into his armor panels or something like that. I was thinking maybe take some chunks out of his head as well, or maybe put some bullet holes in there or something like that. I love the way the first two songs you made are just like absolute slap metal. Fucking brilliant. Changing your room. I wonder if there's too much shading on this. Should you see more of his crotch? Because if like the light is kind of like, where's the light coming from? The light's like kind of behind him. So I've tried to shade like the inside of him and the front of him and highlight the outline of him. You've got some definition in here that I really like. Like obviously it's not like the white isn't showing up, but it's just it takes quite a lot of layering to get it to like, you know, to really show through like. I love the way these things are like 8 minutes. This one's 8 minutes long. Awesome. Sup, nigga? Sorry, Defender, I can't stick around as I have to repair my gate, but I wish you and all the bears a blessed day. Much appreciated, man. You don't need to apologize at all. It's good to see you. Yeah, shit is lit, isn't it? It's ridiculous. Oh, so... Oh, okay. So this is the... Hold on. That says Iron Man version 2. So I'm going to play this one first. So this song's about Iron Man. I love the style he went with. Swim, swim, run, run. Oh, brilliant. Bike, bike. Oh, he's gonna love it. That's hilarious. That's so funny. Always full of excuses, that bandit. Well, fixing a gate's not a bad excuse. Oh, you've already listened to your ones? That's hilarious. You get that update from Crunk. I can't see it till I log into Streamlabs, and I'll see if it works now, actually. Like, I'll see them all come up when I'm back on the other laptop. Let's see if I can log in right now. It just crashed on me, like, yesterday. I've actually never seen it do that. Oh, that's probably why it crashed. Okay, that absolutely slaps, but just give me 2 seconds. Okay. The last I got two like from a month ago, Lord Fat Fuck about fucking Emperor No C Wang. It's so funny. Right, Ronaldo Bunk. Hey folks. Okay. The air over Argentina, I closed it. No one closed air like this before. No one. The Somalis in Minnesota, zero protection, okay? No one's seen anything like this before, folks. Ronaldo, out. Cheers, man. I was watching this thing about this place in Latin America called the the Darien Strait or something it's called, or the Darien Gap, the Darien Gap, and apparently before like 2020 or some shit, or before 2023, on average like a few hundred people tried to like uh immigrants would try and walk through this very dangerous jungle region full of like gangs and snakes, and like it's a proper like dangerous part of the jungle, like, and there's even a section of the mountain range called Death Mountain. Right, and these people are all just like trying to walk through and shit, like, um and it was only a few hundred every year up until around like 2023, or and then 2023, 2024 and 2025. There's been like hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands a year. Just this like crazy stupid increase in the amount of people that are going through the Darien Gap. And it's just that, like, that reminded me of it there, where you're talking about like fucking Americans like closing stuff, or like like, the American president does something that like drastically affects a region or some shit like that, like tariffs or some shit, like, because over the years, apparently way back when the Scots tried to go over and colonize this particular spot, um like the Darien Gap, they tried to fucking colonize it, like, and it was a shit show. Like, they completely failed, and they returned to Scotland broke as fuck. And it was one of the things that like basically caused them to like uh end up um negotiating terms with the British Crown at the time, because the British Crown was able to turn around and be like, look, you guys are broke after your little escapade there in Latin America, so you don't really have a choice in the matter. Like, it's mad. Like, it just, I love discovering random shit that I just didn't know. That, like, it's one of the reasons I've always loved Owen's stream, is like I want to be like, did you guys know this? And like we'll just say something like, that's my favorite kind of info, the gravy that we're all like big into, like. And I was just learning about this place, the Darien Gap, that I'd never heard about before, like, and it's so interesting because there are like some people that get interviewed, right? And you look at them, and based on what they say and their behavior and then so on and so forth, you'd be like, okay, yeah, I mean, that seems like someone who's desperate, in an unfortunate circumstance, and willing to risk life and limb in a fucking jungle, or like, getting assaulted and God knows what, like robbed and shit, like, by criminals that everybody knows like runs the place, in the fucking in the jungle. Everybody's aware that these people are present. Um, but then there's other people who are like, they look like they were like living a middle class life, and then they just decided to be like, oh, like, I can get an even better life in the West or something, and all I have to do is like walk, do this jungle walk. Can't be that bad, like, they're just like people. I'd love to be there and like interview people and be like, so why did you decide to, like, take this risk and do this thing and all? Like, a lot of it seems like utter bullshit to me. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's people who are desperate in all sorts of situations, but so much of it seems like utter bullshit to me, where it's like, if you were actually like in any way intelligent, you wouldn't be doing something like that. like, and I don't care what like circumstance you're in before you make that like they always make it out that it's this humanitarian crisis and these people have no other option. It's very similar, like, to me to so I was watching this other thing. I'm gonna like go on another tangent here for a sec, but it's basically the same kind of like mentality where I'm watching this thing about this guy called the Monster of the Andes, and he was this like insanely prolific murderer of young girls in Cuba, I think, um, back in the 60s and 70s or some shit. And the documentary starts off telling you about what this guy's life was like when he was like, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? His mother had multiple children and was like financially destitute or something, right? And the narrator of the documentary is like, she had no other option but to, turn to prostitution. And anytime I hear that, I'm like, what a load of bullshit. Like, there's very few situations that I can imagine a woman being in, and she turns around to herself and goes, my only option is to fuck strange men for money while my kids are in the next room. Because that's what she did. The only thing separating her and her children from the men she was fucking for money was a curtain. So her kids like had to listen to her get like railed out of it by local men or whatever, maybe sometimes a foreigner, um, like all the time because that's how she made a living, like, And apparently, the story goes that he's like one of her sons. I think he was the eldest, and she was very violent. So anytime there was like any misbehavior of the kids, she would like beat them and scream at them and shit. She once pressed a candle against his foot and like burnt his foot or something. And this was like anecdotally confirmed by neighbors and stuff that said that she was a very wrathful woman and a wrathful parent, like a bad mother in many ways. Like, I mean, not to mention whatever about the punishment, but like to subject your children to that and then use the excuse of it's the only way I can make money, like, is just horrific, like, Um, so right off the bat, you're like given this scenario of like it's almost like watching like an origin story of a villain, like, do you know what I mean? It's like, of course this kid was like fucked up in the head. Like, so when he's like 9, um, the mother catches him doing something inappropriate with one of his sisters, like sexually inappropriate with one of his sisters. Like, kid's 9, hasn't got a clue what he's doing. He's just probably copying what he's seen Mammy do, like, with strange men, like, and she bet the shit out of him and threw him out of the house, just threw him out into the streets and told him to like not come back and shit. So at the age of like 9, the kid's now like homeless after growing up in an environment like as demonic as that, like, And then he ends up on the streets, and then he's like, he ends up on drugs. He ends up getting sexually assaulted by men who like are like, oh, come with me and I'll give you a home and shit. And then they end up like sexually assaulting him and shit, like, and raping him and stuff and all, like, and then just like chucking him back in the streets and all, like. Um, so like the whole time I'm watching the documentary, I'm like, well, what the fuck did you expect? Like, of course this guy turned out to be a monster. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, such horrific circumstances, like, and like the point of view of the mother being like, and even the narrator of the documentary feeding into that narrative of like she had no choice but to do that to make a living, like. And I just find that like to be such a bullshit excuse um to probably every day, like, I don't know how regular she was providing those services to the local men or whatever, but like such a horrific thing to expose your children to, like, and and then be so violent in the disciplining of them. And basically, where I'm going with all this is like it's like the excuse that these people had crossing the Darien Gap of like, I've got no other choice and all, and my kid's in a wheelchair, and my kid needs me and all. It's like a lot of the, don't get me, like I said, I'm sure some of them are very desperate, like, and have fuck all options really, like as far as they're concerned. But a lot of them, you're just left look. I was left looking at them, being like, go the fuck home, you idiot. Why are you risking life and limb and your children's life and all this fucking shit, like in this like crazy? So what? So you can get to America and like get a in quotes better life and get a in quotes better job and like make a better, like, is there really something horrific, some kind of like over like overwhelming tyranny that's like stopping you from making a good life in your home country? And like, perhaps I am ignorant, perhaps, yeah, there's nothing, there's no options, but I just don't believe that, because like from what I've seen in my own like experiences in life and stuff, when people are desperate, like they don't they don't just go like, oh, I'm gonna have to do this like crazy dangerous thing for a better life. When people get desperate, they either like turn to drugs and then like rely on the government if there's a welfare state. Now if there isn't that, then they tend to become criminals. um so like I like sure, like you could have like it's easy for females. Do you know what I mean? Now, obviously, I know psychologically it's not an easy thing to do to sell your body or whatever like that. Like, but for some bitches it would be. For some bitches, it was like, you're telling me all I have to do is suck a couple of guys off and bend over a couple of times a day, and I'll have this wad of cash at the end of the day, like, compared to like doing something else. Why do you think so many bitches do it? Like, do you know what I mean? It's like you've a whole you've a whole slew of females that are just like, oh fuck it, I'll just do this. It can't be that bad. Like, do you know what I mean? Now, obviously, it's horrific, but like, it's no different than men who are kind of like, oh, I'll just do this. I'll just get this job, or I'll just do that, or whatever. Like, and they kind of like accept a certain reality, or like not even accept, because it's not like they have to accept that reality. They willingly submit to circumstances that they've kind of made their own mind up of, like, whereas like somebody else like me, or looking outside, or like maybe even somebody else there, would like look at their scenario and be like, those aren't your only options, you know and like, to me, it just seems like a lot of it is used against people like us, where, because there's a big, like, there's people recording this, there's people there with cameras watching these people, in quotes, you know Im- uh, immigrate to America on foot through this jungle and shit. And it's kind of like, it just reminds me of stuff like Oxfam ads and like Amnesty International and shit, where it's like, these poor, desperate people need our help and all this shit, like in humanitarian aid. And I look at it and I'm like, I don't know. I mean, it really smells like, to me, where somewhere along the line, somebody knows that they can cause this and benefit from it, you know? Like, apparently, one of the things that fucked up Haiti was this massive earthquake in like 2006 or 2007. And that like drastically changed how many like people were trying to escape the circumstances in Haiti. And based on what I've heard, like, now I'm not saying every fucking earthquake or natural disaster or whatever like that, or like, act of God, as they call it legally, um, is an inside job done by the Illuminati or like the government, or like, the fucking hidden hand or whatever. Like, but these days, like in the last couple of 100 years, man, I wouldn't be surprised if most like humanitarian crises, whatever you want to call them, like, um are wholly manufactured by these like secret groups or whatever. knowing full well that they can take advantage, because that makes total sense to me, because that's the whole Ordo ab Chao thing, isn't it? So, but yeah, that was just like to wrap up this ramble rant. That's like kind of what the mindset that I was ruminating over last night was while I was watching those things and all. And then Two Acres chat there just reminded me of it, where it's like these things where they're like, oh, the poor people. And then the people themselves being like, I'm desperate. I don't have a choice and all this shit. And I just look at it and I'm like, you're all idiots. And I know there's people out there, that would turn around to me and be like, um, oh my God, how could you be so heartless? And these people are desperate and these people this and. And I just be like, how do you know? Have you been like to do the Douglas Murray thing of like, have you been? Like, but it's true. It's like if your only source of this alleged reality is the media, then I would remain wholly skeptical of like all of it. Like, do you know what I mean? And that's the mindset I've had for years now, where it's like you get shown something, just like this painting, you know, and like you guys would never know if I had like all your names written down on the back of this with all the things I hate about every one of you. like like you'd never know unless it was shown to you that it was there. But it could be there. You know what I mean? You only know what you're presented with, or what you discover yourself. And I'd say that's why that's in the Bible, of like, seek and you shall find and shit like that, where it's like if you really want to know the truth, in quotes, like you have to seek it for yourself, because if you get it from someone else or another source, then you have still uh you have forfeited your um like your agency. You've imparted your responsibility of, like, what you know and what you hold to be true about whatever. You've now offloaded that responsibility to someone else, and you're saying to them, you tell me what is true, what is real, you know. And again, that's why like something like that would be why people respect Owen, because he'll repeatedly turn around and be like, I might be wrong, but I'm not lying, you know. This is genuinely what I think. This is genuinely what I see, how I feel, and what I discern the following to be, or whatever, like that. Like, whereas everybody else makes claims. Everybody else is like, this is this, and this is this, and all, and we know this is this because of this and all. Like, look at Candace Owens. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, she's flying off the handle lately. Like, fairness, can you blame her if people are actually threatening, like, to assassinate her and shit like that? Like, but it's exactly that. It's like this, and this, and claim and claim and claim, and moral high ground this, and, like, it's all just a fucking, what would you call it? Like, obviously there's the metaphor for, like, it's the world's a stage and all is a show and stuff like that and all, but it's like, it's not though, is it? Like that, like, you can tell which people genuinely believe some of the stuff versus the other people that you can pretty much tell that, like, they know what they're doing. They're like, look, I know that, like, this is how I make money, is I say these things. And, like, Steven Crowder is a great example of that, where, like, he's just a fucking talking head, like, someone like Dave Rubin or something like that, where you're just like, you guys, he's fucking gay. He's married to a dude. Like, do you know what I mean? Does Dave Rubin have kids? Is he one of them? Get, like, I remember seeing ages ago that fucking that really fucked up couple who adopted a baby boy, and they're like the two of them. They don't just look gay; they look like fucking psycho trans lunatics. Like, do you know what I mean? The way they're dressed, the way they have their makeup and stuff, and all, like one of them looks like he's trying to be like a fucking drag queen kind of thing, like, do you know what I mean? Not just like a gay man. And they're like in this insanely expensive house, and they all have all this extravagant stuff, and they're wearing like obviously like designer clothing and all this fucking crap, and they're carrying the baby and moving the baby around like it's a piece of furniture. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, people even said that in the comments, like the way he's holding that baby, it's like it's a fucking accessory. And that's what it is to these people. Like, and it's the same with stuff like that, where it's like, you know, Owen like has spoken about that fucking what's that bitch's name? Sarah something. Where she's like, these poor people and all, like, and it's all very emotionally manipulative, and it's like tugging on your heartstrings, and these people are desperate and need you and all, like, it really is a particularly insidious form of evil to be like, to do the Ordo ab Chao thing, to show up at a place that's foreign, and as a foreigner, and to claim that there's like some kind of desperate situation going on and frame it in a particular way, and then influence, encourage, and manipulate to the best of your ability your fellow human beings into engaging in a false narrative that just bleeds them dry of their resources, while you know, are happy on the hog and like fucking getting all these like, not just like influxes of money from people encouraging you to do this, but also like you get all the social clout. We're like, oh, you're such a good person helping all of those desperate people in this desperate situation. Like, meanwhile, when you look at a lot of other situations, it's like you look at a foreign country, or you look at something that's like, you know, like a reputation to be kind of dangerous or some shit like that, and have economic issues maybe, or something like Jamaica. And then you look at like how they actually live, and like, sure, they might live in like these like makeshift huts, and they fucking have, you know, uh, shoddy electrical grids, if they have electrical grids at all. Maybe they don't have running water and shit like that. Like, and I get it. Like, civilization as we know it is supposed to be like, right, clean running water. Like, we don't need to fucking eat where we shit and all this fucking stuff. But like, the assumption that you need a city-like infrastructure, like Roman style, to live a clean, harmonious with nature kind of life is absurd to me. Like, there's obviously different ways to handle like human waste and stuff. You don't like, obviously it's a very efficient way, like plumbing, especially when you're talking about a city where it's like, okay, we got to get all this waste and we got to take it that way away from the people, like, you know. It's a very efficient way to do it, no doubt, like, you know. But like, this assumes the set, like that assumes the setup. You think they had plumbing in the Shire? Does it look like they have plumbing in the Shire? Well, everyone like could agree that like they'd love to live in the Shire. Does it look like they have plumbing? Does it look like they have electricity? No. So like, that's where I'm like, all of this is like an excuse for the machine to exist, you know? And you see people who say, well, what are we supposed to do? Like, you know, fucking can't just live like this and all. And it's like, well, it's because you don't realize that other modalities and other ways of existing are possible. All you know is what you know. You're limited. That's what it is, like. And because we know that limits are a good thing in certain contexts, that's how the evil gets you. Is like, it limits you, us, with our sin and with our ignorance, and then gaslights us, and is like, look at you, you pathetic piece of shit, like, you know, you're destroying the world and all this fucking stuff, um while encouraging, like, you know, they're it's basically like Owen has described it before. It's like this like narcissistic, psychotic relationship between the people in control and the people who aren't in control. Like, you know, but what the people who aren't in control don't realize is they are in control of themselves if they choose to be. You know, and like, that's kind of where everything gets all fucked up. Is like, they're not making anybody do anything. Nobody's making these people walk through the Darien Gap. Nobody made that disgusting old woman become a prostitute in such an obscene manner. Like you'd think that she would at least, like, there's plenty of bitches out there that turn tricks like that, but they don't do it around their kids, and they'd actively hide it from their kids and their family. Like, do you know what I mean? But this bitch just had a curtain and just like made a living, and then if the kids had an issue with it, she just bet the shit out of them, you know, or if they acted out like. And that's where it's like evil does create evil, you know, like the whole thing of like if you want an excuse to be good, there's one, you know, like be good, be true, and be beautiful. I know my version sounds a little bit gay, but I mean it in its truest form of like what is beautiful, what is true, what is good. Like be the things that cultivate and propagate what we consider sacred, what we consider valuable. Be that, you know? Because there's people out there who are like, they're not, I wouldn't say they're even motivated to not be that. They genuinely think that's their only course of action. That's their only option, is to be a fucking piece of shit. And then they make excuses for it, like, you know, oh, like, poor me, you know, like, and that's why, like, I've been through some fucking mad stuff, like, you know what I mean, in my 34 years of existence. I've been through some crazy shit, you know, like family betrayal and all, like, leaves intense mental scars. Um, Especially if you don't like uh engage and acknowledge that in your own life, where you're like, yeah, this happened when I was a kid, and that's probably why I have some, like, you know, triggers or mental hang-ups in these certain areas or whatever like that. Like, there's a reason why most people are so fucking sensitive and like woke, and like in the sense of, like, you know, you could just go nigger and they'd be like, oh my god, like like now you could probably just turn around and go Jew, and like a lot of people be like, oh, fucking hate Jews, all the Jews are fucking, like, everybody is so wound up, everybody's so tense that, like, you can't do anything. You can't do anything with them. You can't communicate with them. You can't get in there. You can't relate. You can't work together. You can't communicate. And to me, that just seems like another, like, insidious ploy. Like, you know what I mean? It's like you make the people so atomized, separated, distracted, full of like hate and despair and all this shit, that even when people like us or people like Owen or like any of the bears, like, do you know what I mean, try to just be a good person, you'll come across that conflict that Vox speaks of. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like conflict is the air we breathe, it is the water in which we swim. Because, like, it's like what Owen's spoken about this before, where you trigger other people's shame. You know, like the very notion of like witnessing someone who has gained the knowledge of this like metaphysical view of things, where it's like, yeah, but it doesn't have to be this way. You could choose with your own free will to direct yourself like a ship in a different direction, and different things will happen, you know, and they'll just be like, no, you're wrong. So I wish that were true and all. Like, you get that a lot. Like, it's not as easy as, like, you know, what you're saying. It's like, oh, I didn't fucking once say that anything I'm saying is like fucking easy. It's not fucking easy. You think it's easy to be fucking looked at like a madman? You think it's easy to be fucking people have be jealous of you and resent you and shit for the maddest reasons? Like, you think it's easy to fucking constantly have this fucking tug of war in your fucking head and your heart of like, should I just do what everybody else is doing and stop rocking the boat in various ways? And like, it's not fucking easy. It's not easy at all. It's fucking worth it though. From what I've felt and from what I've seen and from what I've experienced, it's a hell of a lot. Like, it's so much more worth it than just, you know, accepting this kind of modernity in a submissive sense. Do you know what I mean? You have all these people that like all these groups, all these like fucking communities or whatever you want to call them, these ideologies and ways of thinking, like, and so many of them are predicated on the victim mentality of like, we need an enemy so that we're all, going in the same direction. It's pathetic. It's so weak, you know? Like, I don't need any fucking enemies. I have enough of them in my head. Like, I don't need other people to fucking hate me. There's part of me that there's parts of me that hate me. That's not true. When I said it there, I think collectively all the voices in my head were like, "We don't hate you, buddy. I just disagree on half of the shit that you think about." How's that looking from a distance? It's a bit too bright. That's a bit too bright. Okay, I'm gonna stop ranting. We'll play the rest of this amazing music. Um, Wait, I'll catch up on chat first, will I? And boy, that gave the Swiss nightmares not to be believed. The Swiss? Wait, moving all the fucking foreigners in? Uh, I'm literally painting gooing as we speak. Aren't you doing that most of the time? Isn't that your job? The Dorigians fell upon, slaughtered, and ate them. Um, yeah, I've heard about like a lot of cannibalism shit in those fucking regions and in Africa. Knowing how many women are on OnlyFans right now, there most certainly were other options prior to prostitution. It just came down to laziness plus sluttery. Yeah, exactly. That's such a good point. That's such a good like such a basic fucking like right in your face point of like, look how many bitches do OnlyFans. Do they have to do that? No, but it's easy. It's easier. It's the path of least resistance or whatever, you know. And it's horrible. Like that's so horrible. Like especially because I don't watch porn anymore and stuff like that. It's been years. Like it's been years now since I like regularly watched porn or whatever. Like and it does. It like porn is a weapon that like fucks with your head. Like it's like you're cooking yourself and stuff like that. It's horrible. Like and when you come back from it and fucking look in on what it is and shit like that, like it's really tragic that you have all these physically beautiful females who end up in that. And even if they get out of it, which is rare enough, um, they're like forever like um sullied by what they did, as far as any like male would be like, do you know what I mean? Like even the most moral man, if he came across a former porn star and like you would have a ton of reservations. You'd be like, yeah, yeah, I don't know, like the risk reward assessment there is like, yeah, not happening, not a chance. Like, do you know what I mean? And that's sad, like, do you know, because like I look at it from the point of like kind of like a utilitarian or a eugenicist. When I see a beautiful woman and she's like in that world or is trying to get out of it, I feel so bad for her and for the guy that tries to be with her, because like the stigma from that is just insane. But then it's like, what do you expect? You did something like utterly depraved. But then it's like, can you judge them? Like you watched the depraved shit, like, like that's essentially what people like me or Owen or you guys, like lots of us, like who like, you were in the world and you were of it. Now you're in the world, but you're not of it because your mentality and your spirituality and your emotional state, like your consciousness is like, is trying to be higher. You're trying to be enlightened. You're trying to be metaphysical, and you're not grounded by the mundanity of life, and you're not just like, oh, this is it. It's like, no, there is more to this. You know, I think one of the struggles that we face is just the added conflict of the internal conflict, mentally and spiritually and physically and emotionally, that we people like us face, because it's like this like tug of war between like the trying to be a new version of you and trying to be a constantly improving, constantly better version of you, versus the memories you have and the voices in your head of being like, well, who are you to think and say these things or judge anyone or say this is bad or say this is good when you yourself did this, that, and the rest. Now, obviously, you have a lot of the stuff, like especially my own circumstances, where it's like all the way up to like age 25, you're like, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Like, I didn't like, do you know what I mean? Like, I know most people can relate to that. Like, it's like all the way up to 25, you're kind of just like, like through life, and then you get to 25 and you're like, oh fuck, I'm aware now. I'm an adult now. Like, I have like, if I don't assume at least some basic fundamental shit and the responsibility for those things, I'm just gonna be like a burden on society instead of like a part of society, like, And like, I suppose like you could easily make the argument that everything I'm saying, the fact that I'm saying all this shit, the fact that I'm coming from this angle, is itself evidence that I am not like other people who never talk about any of this shit, never even consider it. It's kind of like the gamma mentality thing, where like sometimes I've heard and seen stuff about like these qualities, or well, I wouldn't say qualities, these attributes that the gamma male exhibits. And there's times where I've been like, oh well, shit, I've thought stuff like that. I've kind of behaved in a manner like that, and all like, and then I would like ruminate over and be like, oh shit, does that make me a gamma? Or like, what does that say about me and stuff like. And every time one of my friends is just like, no, you're not a gamma. Like, the fact that you're thinking that way means that you're not a gamma, because a gamma doesn't think like that. A gamma never thinks this. Like, they're like narcissistic and single-minded and all this fucking shit, and it's all about them and self-preservation and deception and so on and so forth. Like, and I find that really funny, where like in one moment you can have that's like self-doubt and like self-deprecation of like, but it's also self-reflection, where you're like, is it possible that I am this? Is it possible that there's something I'm missing? You know, that's a big thing, and like that's definitely a trait that like gammas don't have, from what I've seen and heard. Any is like, they assume that they know everything. That's where you get that thing of like the whole Sherlock Holmes of like, if you've eliminated all the variables, then the last thing remaining, no matter how insane, must be the truth or the reality. It's like, no, that's fucking insane, because that assumes that you know everything and that you've tried everything, which is an insane claim to make. Because obviously, if you thought about things in an enlightened sense, you would realize that there is a infinite amount of variables in most given circumstances that you couldn't possibly track or experiment upon. Like, so like, it's just, you just get these moments, I suppose, where like I'm looking at these things, like these people suffering and all this stuff, and I'm like, I get these moments where I'm like, what a bunch of fucking retards. But like, there's still tragedy there. There's still tragedy there. So it makes sense when people, I'd understand people who looked at me making that assessment and being like, oh, how could you be so heartless? I'm like, yeah, but don't you see where I'm coming from? Like, I know a lot of you guys immediately understand where I'm coming from, but like, and that's why I love talking to you guys and talking at you guys, and then you guys, writing something back, or me seeing a comment or something, where it's like, you can't do it on your own. You can't do any of it on your own. Even if it's just you and God, you shouldn't be doing that either. And I've found I'm guilty of that, where I spent like, I'm kind of a hermit, and I spend so much time on my own, and I talk to myself and I talk to God, and like that's not enough. Uh, that's not enough angles of perception on something. You need other people. You need other perspectives. You need other fucking nodes, sources of input, sources of data and knowledge and shit. Like, that's what I think is so funny about like the society that we've grown up in is like, how many times are we told that it's like, this is the truth? Says who? These people. Well, who gave them the authority? These other people did, or they gave it to themselves, or God did. And it's like, well, how do I know that God gave them authority? Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, stop asking questions. Like, uh, anyway, uh, unfortunately, yes, twin boys. I think. Oh, fuck off! Fucking Dave Rubin has twin boys. Oh, Jesus. Dave Rubin is unfortunately one of those gay guys who had a child trafficked to him. Ah, fucking hell, yeah, that's disgusting. Hey, Margie. Shrek and an outhouse in his swamp. There are always ways to handle waste effectively in remote areas. Yeah, and like we call it waste as if something cannot be done with it, but we literally use cow shit and all different like forms of animal like uh bat shit, guano, that's used to make like fucking like clays and stuff like that. It's like an ingredient in different forms of clay and shit in those regions. Um like to call our like it's funny how we look at the in quotes waste material of other animals as a resource, but we look at our waste as just waste, you know, or at least that's the public perception of it. Like when that doesn't make any sense. Like what? Like why can't I just like shit in my garden and piss in my garden and like that be the same kind of process as like a rabbit or a fucking alpaca or a cow or whatever. Now, obviously, there's going to be like mineral differences and like there's going to be a different like structure to it or whatever, especially with our diet, depending on your diet or whatever. Like like if I whack a can of Monster into me and then piss in my garden, I wouldn't expect it to have good results. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like basically just pissing sugar everywhere. Like, but you get where I'm coming from. It's like, why do we look at other poo and piss from like we use whale vomit in perfume? So why do we look at like the excretions of other creatures as a like squid ink? Do you know what I mean? Like all sorts of stuff and all. Like it's like, oh, that's useful. But then we look at our own waste and it's like, no, that has to go down a pipe and like most of it just goes out to the rivers and the oceans and shit, or like into some kind of like, these processing factories and stuff or whatever. Like, you have a lot of these in the last couple of decades or something where they're trying to use biofuels and stuff. They've made steaks out of human poo. Like, do you know what I mean? Like that's how you know it's inverted completely, where they're like, okay, well, yeah, it's waste, but we're gonna make food out of it. It's like, are you fucking like, oh man, drives me mad. Like, oh yeah, it's worth it if you're strong enough. Agent K, Men in Black. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a good quote. Oh yeah, it's worth it if you're strong enough. Because it is, it's hard. It's especially difficult watching other people that you care about uh not want to or not be able to follow you on the path. That really hurts. Um when someone you care about doesn't has no like uh desire to engage in the same kind of behavior and thinking, and it's kind of like uh it's like if you're the crab in the bucket thing, and you like imagine you're one of the crabs that manages to get to the lip of the bucket and you're like, woohoo, I made it, I'm out, and you look back at like your loved ones, and you know that if you reach down to help them, they'll just pull you back in. So like I think a lot of us probably spend like a lot of time on that lip waiting to before you just like go over the edge of the bucket and you're like you're out of hell, you're out of the pit, you're out of the bucket, like you're not going to go back there, like like I've recently thought about that, where like when you get out of the pit, the risk of going back in to help someone come back out, but then it's like, but you can't help them. They have to do it on their own. That's hard, man. Fucking survivor's guilt. I think Papa J Bear turned around to me one time and he was like, I think you suffer from survivor's guilt or some shit like that. Like, where, like, I have this desperate, like, part of me that's like, I got out, so can you. Like, take my hand. I'll help you get out. But then you can't do that because you'll just be pulled back in. But then there's a part of me that's like, well, I got out before on my own. So if I get pulled back in, then I can get out again, you know? And like, is that me being arrogant? It sounds kind of arrogant, like, do you know what I mean? Like, but once you got yourself out, there's part of you that does think, there's part of me that thinks that it's like, no, I could go back in and like get other people and bring them out. Like, the savior complex, is that what that is? Like, it's hard, man. Um, I'm driving, so I won't be able to chat. She says in the chat. Oh, good, Margie. Where you? I was about to ask you where you're driving to. Don't tell me. God knew after creating Adam that man cannot be left alone. That's why he created Eve. Yeah, I always think that stuff is so funny. It's like, and then he took Adam's rib and he made the woman and all. But it, from what I've heard, you know, I don't know if this is true, but this the scientific community, from what I've heard, is all embryos, all eggs, when they start gestating, they all begin as female, and it's like at a certain point in the first couple of weeks or days or something like that, where your genome or your DNA is like, okay, well, this is a male. So now this has to happen. And there comes a point where like there's a flood of like all these different hormones and you mutate into a male. So it is a kind of a chicken and egg thing, isn't it? When you look at the biological side of things, where it's like was the first human made? You know, like, because like that's what it is like people who believe in God, it's like, okay, this place was made, how and when, all right, and it's like, were different things made at different times? Was it all just like scripted previously on a coding or a blueprint, like etherically, and then just all of a sudden, bang, there's the creation with all the stuff in it, and it's all just there? Like, did he just like create all of it in the ether and sort it all out in music and sound and the unseen forces, and then just go and like it just happened and it was all there? Or was it this gradual thing of like, I know in the Bible it describes it of like, okay, well, first there was just nothing, and then he made the trees, and then he did this, and then he did that, like, you know, but like that's where you get the secular thing of like, there was this primordial ooze and then lightning struck it and all this fucking shit, like millions and millions and billions and years and all this crap. It's like the arrogance of people to claim that their logical speculations are fact. That's a disgusting and insidious thing that our scientific community has done to us, and that we have allowed them to do. That's a disgusting and insidious thing that we have allowed our scientific community to do, is because that's what it is that they've speculated logically, and they've been like, well, this must be the truth. They make the claim, and then a load of like fucktards, their peers or whatever, go, oh yeah, 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 that must be what it is, like, because of that confirmation bias bullshit of like, oh, we have an answer now, cool, let's just run with this. It's fucking annoying, man. It could be far better to admit your ignorance. Like, how much more mystical and fantastical and full of wonder our lives would be if we were, when we were kids, the adults would give us answers to things like fire is hot, ice is cold, so on and so forth. The basics, the alchemical basics, the spiritual geometry basics of like this is a square, this is what we call a triangle, and so on and so forth. Like, but then when it came to other things, they were like, we don't know. People argue all this. People argue about it all the time. We don't know. It could be this. It could be that. It is for you to discover yourself. Maybe you will be the one to discover the answer. Like, do you know what I mean? Many people before you have tried to solve this problem or tried to do this or tried to do that. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, well, you don't get that. What you get is this, and this. Now do this or else. And you're like, okay, what the fuck? like, like no wonder of us. No wonder a lot of us have like fucked up like emotions and spirituality and like mental things and all. Like, do you know what I mean? The way we've treated each other is fucking horrific. Like, he spoke and then things where as he spoke there's something to that, some kind of divine tonal power. Yeah, like that. I love that. Like, I haven't read the Silmarillion or whatever it's called, but like I when I heard that the way Tolkien wrote Lord of the Rings, like the precursor to Lord of the Rings, the Silmarillion, and he said that this entity called Iluvatar sang Middle Earth into existence. And that makes so much sense when you look at like how we've instinctively visualized sound, and then you look at the horizon line when you're just outside, and like the trees and the mountains and the dips and the falls, it's like musical. I think that's been done before, but like I think that would be cool to like just go outside and get a vantage point and then just do uh look around at 360 degree, like get your horizon line, get your baseline, and then draw around in 360 degrees and look at like all the different like trees, count all the trees and all the hills and the crests and falls, the ups and downs, and then translate that into a song, you know. I'm pretty sure that's been done, and like that makes a lot of sense because like wasn't like old music stuff like on a disc with all those notches in it and stuff, and it would just slowly turn. Like, it's fascinating. Like, I do want to get more musical. I just feel like I don't have the time right now. But I suppose that's what it is. It's like I feel like I don't have the time. It's not actually that I don't have the time. Like, um, son going in to get beer. That's a great reason to drive somewhere. Just don't drink the beer and drive. All right, I'm gonna put the tunes back on. I'm gonna restart this. So this is Iron Man's song.
Swim, swim, run, run, ride bike, more bike. Swim, swim, run, run, bike, bike, more bike. To crush is my goal, to slay the mountain top, never to stop. I am become Iron Man. To crush my goal, to beat the pavement roar, with blood in my socks. I am become
With blood in my socks. Oh, that's hilarious. It's probably very true.
grow food, sell home, more home, climb the mountain tops. Watch bear, shed weakness, strong mind, stronger heart. Swim, swim,
fucking deadly. I am become Iron Man. It's so good. Just a touch of grey. Very, 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 very light grey. Hold on a minute. I want to go back up to. So that was Iron Man. This is Iron Man version 2. I'm so excited to hear the Baboon Blitzkrieg. I can't wait. Alright, give me 2 seconds. I just need to reply to somebody here. Let me see. Right, Baboon Blitzkrieg. Oh no, that's version 2. Baboon Blitzkrieg version 1. Right. Baboon Blitzkrieg. I love it. Even the names of the songs are fucking savage. Let me see. Okay, in here could actually be like fucking black.
Baboon smells blood. It's thick in the air. A wounded soldier, pale and bare, defending crates. Glassy blue frost. The jungle whispers. Someone's lost. Meth on his breath.
Meth on his breath.
Baboon's gone mad. He's off the chain. Uniform tight. A wild masquerade. Swimming to Madagascar. A beast unafraid. Salt on his fur. Waves crash loud. Eyes like headlights. Head in the clouds.
I fucking love it.
The island looms. Lemurs play. But the come down calls. It's judgment day. Figs on the wind. Meth in the trees. Baboon's heart pounds. Brought to his knees. Meth on his breath. Fire in his eyes.
Meth on his breath.
Baboon's gone mad. He's off the chain. Uniform tight. A wild masquerade.
Oh, that's so funny.
Storming the camp. No time to be swayed. Lemurs dance. Shadows stretch wide.
That's hilarious.
Pigs grow fat. Where Nazis once died. The jungle hums. It's a bitter refrain. Madness is fleeting. But scars remain.
That's so good. That is fucking hilarious. Meth on his breath is so fucking funny. There's version 2.
Baboon smells blood. It's thick in the air. A wounded soldier, pale and bare, defending crates, glassy blue frost. The jungle whispers.
Meth in the street.
Baboon's heart pounds, brought to his knees. Meth on his breath, fire in his veins.
Meth on his breath is just so good.
Baboon's gone mad,
That is so funny.
he's off the chain. Uniform tight, a wild masquerade. Storming the camp, no time to be swayed. Limers dance, shadows stretch wide. Figs grow fat when Nazis once died. The jungle hums, it's a bitter refrain. Madness is fleeting, but scars remain.
Fucking hilarious. Meth on his breath is so fucking funny, man. Meth on his breath. Battle clam rises. Oh my god, I didn't even see the name. Right, we got Battle Clam Rise. So this is, for those of you who aren't aware, the next two songs are about this guy that we just made in the past few days, which in and itself is just so fucking cool.
Down in the depths where the salt water sways, the clams of the nation just pass their days. Filter the sand, keep the tide rolling slow. Peace is their way, but trouble gonna grow. Shaman come hungry, teeth like steel. Never stop eating, never stop the read. Battle clam rise without a prickler in hand. Defend the nest, defend the land. Battle clam rise, the salt water cries. Shaman never stop, but the spirit survives. The shells shine bright in the ocean's dark dome. A kingdom of quiet, their only home. But when the shadow falls and the current turns red, the call to protect wakes the warriors from bed. Shaman come prowling, jaws open wide, but the saltwater nation got no place to hide. Battle clam rise without a prickler in hand.
The Saltwater Nation is brilliant.
Battle clam rise, the saltwater cries. Shaman never stop, but the spirit survive. Shaman never stop, but the spirit survive.
The Saltwater Nation is so funny. The vibe is so fitting, like that you just made them like a fucking we're at the beach chilling and shit, like Battle Clam. Like I fucking love it. Like imagine like that kind of music playing and they're all just like walking out of the ocean, just like fucking up tourists. And you just have this real chill vibe, fucking happy go lucky music going on in the back. Battle Clam fucking like there's just people running and screaming and shit getting impaled with the fact that the fact that oh man, I forgot that you called it the prickler. Man, that made me die laughing yesterday when you put that in the chat. Demon Hunter Bear. Oh my god. I'm there like, no, we can't call it the Hydra. Like, it doesn't have multiple heads. That doesn't make any sense now. Like, blah, blah. The prickler. And like, oh man, and it doesn't prick them. Like, look at the size of that thing. Like, it's like impaling people to like fucking palm trees and stuff. The prickler. Oh man. Oh fuck. That's it. This is Battle Clan version 2. Yeah, the Jamaican vibe is so good.
Down in the depths where the salt water sways, the clams of the nation just pass their days. Filter the sand, keep the tide rolling slow. Peace is their way, but trouble gonna grow. Jaman come hungry, teeth like steel. Never stop eating, never stop the real. Battleground ride, without a prickler in hand. Defend the nest, defend the land. Battleground ride, the saltwater cry. Jaman never stop, but the spirit survive. The shell shine bright in the ocean's dark dome. A kingdom of quiet, their only home. But when the shadow falls and the current turns red, the call to protect wakes the warriors from bed. Jackman come prowling, jaws open wide, but the saltwater nation got no place to hide.
Saltwater Nation, Battle Clam, the Prickler. Like, the amount of times that has happened on this stream where we're just fucking around and we just make something. From the grid pigs to fucking like the tactical turtles, like all of it. Like, it's like, it's so good, man. Like, this stream has provided all of us with so much material to just like work with, and it just keeps coming. Like, okay, so this is called Beethoven's Choir. Beethoven's Choir. Oh, it's got Halo vibes. Oh, I just got a tingle in my spine. It's got Halo vibes. Oh my god. I'm starting this again. The combination of the choir and the old school like rock like guitar. Oh man. So good. That's version 2. I accidentally clicked on the wrong thing. Oh, this is so good. Am I retarded? Is it called Grid Pigs? I thought it was called Space Pigs. Are the Grid Pigs from space? Hold on. I'll address this real quick. Yeah, we called them the grid pigs because when I painted them, they were on a chessboard. They were on a chessboard. So it was like, what we call them? Like they're on a grid, like do you know what I mean, or whatever. Like um, because like there was loads of puns like grill and like grid and fucking like I was gonna call them. I even came up with a movie poster idea with Demon Hunter Bear, where so because they're pigs and they have the vibe of like the Roman Catholic Church and they're like fucking burning heretic, like they burn other pigs and like make bacon out of them and shit. Like fuck, because they're heretics and shit. Like, um, but the what was the thing? Like, what was the thing we came up with? Um, Oh yeah, instead of because they're Roman Catholic, because it's the Roman Catholic Church, and but they're pigs and they're like maniacal and fucking like demonic and shit. Like it's like a parody of the Catholic Church, and the way there's that is it the Indiana Jones one or just in general there's like the myth of like the Holy Grail, and it's instead of the Holy Grail it was the Holy Grill, and I was just gonna do a movie poster of like. The main one is the pig with the flamethrower with the bishop's hat. That's where like it all kind of went from. Was there was a pig with a flamethrower and a bishop's hat was using the flamethrower on another pig, and I ran with the team of like, right, well, what if they're like heretic burning zealot pigs, like, and it's like you just had this thing. It was like grid pigs, the search for the Holy Grail or some shit like, and it's just this pig fucking with a flamethrower and a bishop's hat, fucking roasting all of these other pigs. I can't even say it because, like, as I'm saying it, I'm thinking it, I'm picturing it in my head, and it's so fucking funny. It's like something you'd see in Family Guy or something back in the day, like where it's just so over the top and like, what the fuck. But yeah, they can be, dude. They can be from space. That would alleviate loads of the lore and like how do we make sense of this and stuff. Like they could totally just be from space and you could make it up that like the reason why they look like the Roman Catholic Church is because they're space pigs that picked up a signal from Earth, which was like a Roman Catholic uh preacher channel or something, like, you know what I mean? So like they like inherited the ideology from like a radio fucking free from like a Roman Catholic fucking preaching channel that they picked up and all, like, and now they're on Earth and they show up and like as far as they're concerned, anyone who's not Catholic is like evil or like scum or dangerous or whatever. So they're just going around dressed as Roman Catholics, but there's pigs from space, and like Warhammer 40k Space Marine style are just like burn the heretic, and they're like annihilating everyone. But yeah, I love I love that. Wait, am I retarded? Like, are they from space? They can be if you want them to be, nigga. And I've no qualms about that. Oh, we could totally change it up and make the grid pigs from space. Still being called the grid pigs, though. I think it'd be so funny if we like put it in the lore that they were born on a chessboard or some shit. Like, how would you do that one? I don't know. Like, I like doing that sometimes, where like you create the idea and then you reverse engineer it, where you're like, okay, how do we get there? How do we how do we get to the finished product? It's the best, man. It's so fucking funny. Um, not in my timeline. It's magnificent. Oh man, I fucking can't wait for this. I gotta start this again. The second I felt the Halo vibes, I was just like, oh my god, are you serious? This is so good. Hell yeah. This is fucking epic. My bad. Yeah, don't be. Swear last month there was some mention of space pigs. I probably did, like, I probably came up with something else. There was probably something in passing that we spoke about space pigs. Okay, well, I turned it into some type of J space pig, like something at a Duke Nukem. Like, my bad. Don't you dare apologize. Don't you dare apologize. Nothing to apologize for. We got a hilarious fucking, like, the Space Pig song's fucking awesome. Man, that was fucking epic. That was not what I was expecting when it, like, Beethoven's choir, and it's just like straight up Halo inspired fucking orchestral metal shit. Like, I fucking love it. That was fucking awesome. Das was epic. My Enigma version 2. And then we got the 2 Acre songs. Okay. I'm trying to think of what else I could do here, but I think that's it. And part of me wants to remask this because it's a bit too yellow. But then part of me kind of looks the way it looks. I'm not sure. Man, the vibe you create on some of these is fucking deadly. We have a really similar music vibe. Cause I fucking love metal and shit, like, do you know what I mean? But when it comes to music that like really gets me going, you always need like some proper like orchestral epic shit in there and some bitch with a really good voice, and then it just drops hard. Like, if you wanted an example of like a really good, like, in a nutshell, my favorite kind of music is I'll drop it in the painting goo chat. I'll drop fucking what's it called? That band Spirit Box. I think it's Holy Roller. Yeah, Spirit Box, Holy Roller. is like legit one of my favorite fucking tunes like ever. It hits so hard, but her voice is so good. Like I just dropped it in the painting goo chat there. That was real chill. That's super cool. If I was gonna do a version of that, there would be like a horrible fucking like what are they called again? That crowd everybody's listening to these days. Oh my god, I love this. The style of this is dead. These are the 2 Acre Bear songs. Sleep Token. Yeah, a Sleep Token, you know, filthy metal drop out of nowhere in that Enigma song would be fucking deadly. This is class. Old school rock. This is deadly. Fish beware. Oh, I love it. Oh, it's fucking dirty. That was class. There's version 2.
despair, gonna bring them to their knees. Dreams at night, scales and gills, blood in the water, his soul it thrills to anchor and bear. God of the
I love the vibe. It's so like Johnny B. Good. Like I fucking love that shit, man. It's got that. It sounds like it could be on. It sounds like it could be on the fucking soundtrack of like Back to the Future.
breaks and the
I fucking love it.
but his heart beats hard for the hunting line. Bass in the lake, trout in the stream. No fish too small for his hungry dream. Loyal Japanite and bear combined, a legend born with a ruthless mind to anchor and bear.
Loyal Japanite and bear combined. That's hilarious.
Fish beware, he's the hunter of the quota to anchor and bear. Oh, he's got all the despair.
That sounds like it's from Johnny B. Good. I fucking love that old school rock, man. Oh man, they're all fucking deadly. Right, it's 6 o'clock, and the female's after letting me know that she's on the way home now, which is awesome. 2 weeks without the missus. Okay. Right. I'm gonna line up. That's some haunting shit. Yeah, will I just play Holy Roller? I'll probably get done for the copyright, will I? I fucking love that tune, man. It's so good. Printer Bears, that's some haunting shit. Like, that's my vibe, man. That's like my favorite kind of fucking like the stuff that really gets me going is like this like violent blend of like really beautiful and then like fucking demonic. Like, let me see. I'm gonna line up. Where's Printer Bears messages? I'm gonna line up. What's that one I really like from that playlist? I think it's the Japanese Kilt one. Is like really fucking catchy. So I'm gonna quickly sign this and say goodbye to you and close down the stream. Because I got shit to do. Charge your chi, peaceful. Yeah, this one. This is class. Yeah, this is so cool. Right. Our battle clam is. I just thought of what battle clam sounds like in Japan. Battle clam! Behold! I have completed the first battle clam. Oh fuck! Isn't that what like the spam is called in like Fallout or something? Like cram? I can't remember. Hi. Yeah, I fucking love this. This is class. Right. We now have another thing that we've made. Battle clams. From this, was it the saltwater kingdom? Equipped with a fearsome prickler. The latest and greatest in prickler technology. Right, my beloved Japunita, I bid thee farewell. Until tomorrow. Oh, big stretch. Right, much love, y'all. Saltwater Nation. Yes, Saltwater Nation. Excellent. Yeah, the lyrics to fucking thing are savage. Right, much love. Be good, be true, be beautiful. And I'll see you soon.